I think Mark Gatiss should be writing a video game for Doctor Who, not necessarily the series. Which is a shame, I really wanted him to take over. Alright folks, Rick Waller came back again. And it's Doctor Who time again. Series 9, Episode 9. I do like the pattern of that. Sleep No More. Now we've had some good episodes of this series. Does this carry that on? Or does this let it down a bit? Only one way to find out. Let's jump straight in. Essentially, it's another Base Under Siege story. You've got the monsters attacking, the 4 crew members slowly being picked off, and them having to try and escape. Okay, this is an interesting use of plot. It's not your typical Doctor Who story. The narrative structure of it's just that nice little bit different. Jumping in, jumping out, shot out of sequence. It's really quite interesting. And maybe just a little bit like I've started to do these videos, which is bizarre. Not that either thing is connected. Basic plot. To be honest, it felt more like the cutscenes of a survival video game rather than an actual Doctor Who story. But I commend them for trying. The Doctor, as ever, amazing. He wasn't the most major part of this, but what he did was really good. And he did still, solve the mystery, save the day, all the things the Doctor should. It did feel slightly bland, but that wasn't Capaldi, that was the writing, which is a shame. I'm a big fan of Mark Gatiss. I wanted him to be the new showrunner. And he's let himself down with this episode a bit. I tell you what, I really did like that. What I really loved. When she said to him, "Consider yourself," and he just burst into song, "Part of the furniture." That was just genius. I like it when the Doctor does stuff like that, and Capaldi pulled it off perfectly. There's not actually an awful lot to say about Clara. Once again, didn't seem to do much in this episode. She got attacked by a pod, got pulled into the pod and had to be rescued. But yeah, she felt more like a proper companion in this one. They've actually been managing to nail her really well this series. And they did that again with this. And I've got to say, I would like to address the rumours that the Doctor's already seen that she's dead. And we just haven't caught up with that yet. I've never been sure about that theory. It's always seemed a bit, that's an interesting idea, but yeah, I can't see it. But in this, it really seemed possible. Maybe even probable. And he really seemed upset about it. This was the biggest hint drop for that so far. Have you got planned for his Moffat? Have you actually got planned for this Moffat? At this rate, I'm actually going to miss Clara. Or at least how she's been this series. I actually really enjoyed the supporting cast in this. Okay, none of them were particularly well-developed three-dimensional characters. But they were never meant to be. And when we got introduced to them, it was pointed out to us they were all going to die, so don't get too attached. And I don't think the writer did, which was a problem, because they didn't develop three-dimensionally. But worked really well for the characters themselves. Still, we got good solid cardboard cutouts. They would work well as archetypes for a video game. I keep saying that a lot for this episode, don't I? I think Mark Gatiss should be writing a video game for Doctor Who, not necessarily the series. Which is a shame, I really wanted him to take over. Yeah, I wasn't left with the urge to see any of them again, but none of them were offensive. Except maybe the amount of time she was saying pet. But even that's not that bad. Is it pet? All their deaths meant something to the plot, moving it forward at least a little bit, which is really a good thing for the characters, even if they are just cardboard cutouts. We've actually had some surprisingly good monsters this year, haven't we? some surprisingly good new ones. Now, the Sandmen, they were really good. I really liked them. To be fair, I actually do prefer the name Dustmen. I think that sounds cooler. But hey, I'm happy enough to go with Sandmen. That works well. And the use of the song itself was really good. I actually really enjoyed that. I always loved that song, so that kind of worked. I've got to say, I loved how they shot the Sandmen most of the time. Out of focus, catching just a hint of their arm, or a glance at their head, never seeing them full on. Well, yeah, we did see them full on a few times, which sort of spoilt the illusion. But most of the time, it was, cutaways, catching glimpses. That works really well. It really made them seem a lot more intimidating, in my opinion. Not sure about the twist ending. Reeked a little bit of Blink to me, but yeah, the Sandmen themselves I liked. So, overall, surprisingly enough, I'm thinking video game. It also felt a bit derivative of Blink and one of the 100 stories in the Big Finish audio production. So yeah, not particularly original, not particularly deep, cool looking monsters, cinematically shot. A friend of mine said, nah, I'd say it's a little bit better than that. Not an instant classic, nothing offensive in it, but nothing too remarkable either. As such, the only score I can really give it is 6.5. Not bad, but not great. Next week, on the other hand, that looks like it could be interesting. There again, I said that last week, so we'll have to wait and see. Until then, see you.